These won't just be taxis anymore. These will be Waymos in your driveway.
Most
So like
stores don't lose deals because they can't sell. They lose deals because someone didn't follow up fast enough or long
data.
enough.
Why is ChatGPT doing what they're doing and losing billions of dollars every single year? It's because they own the data.
The future isn't AI versus humans, it's consistent follow up versus inconsistent follow up.
Welcome to the Car Dealer AI Show. This is an exciting day. This is our first time doing an AI news segment just specifically for car dealerships, which personally I don't think anybody's doing right now. So I'm super excited. I'm really stoked. I'm an addict when it comes to AI news, but now pairing that with our expertise in car dealerships, we plan on talking about things that vendors are doing in the space and can offer to car dealerships, but also what OEMs are doing and what types of technologies are coming out. What do we see at NADA? What do we see at CES? Those types of higher level things to really help car dealerships understand how AI is going to impact their day. What do they need to adopt? What do you not need to adopt? What is just a shiny toy? And so on and so forth. So on these calls, Charles and I have come to the table with different questions that we have not seen yet, or different topics or news topics. We plan on presenting them and then just posing a question to each other and see how that casual conversation goes. So I hope that everybody's excited for this new segment. To kick it off, this isn't necessarily a very specific news event, but this is a massive wave that I think we need to talk about, because I think that this is how dealers are being impacted the most currently when it comes to AI, is CRM based AI follow-up. Now, Charles, would you say that this is actually helpful automation, or is this the beginning of the end of traditional BDC follow-up?
Well, it's not the end of BDCs, but it is the end of sloppy follow up, in my opinion. And that's what people are really reacting to. What's happening right now isn't just AI helping draft the text. This is AI doing follow up, right? So it decides when to reach out, it sends the message, it responds, and it keeps going. That's a different level than where we're currently at. So before AI was like, here's a message you could send. Now it's like, I already handled it. And honestly, for most dealerships, that's not scary. That's what's needed, because most stores don't lose deals because they can't sell. They lose deals because someone didn't follow up fast enough or long enough. The early use cases are pretty simple. Instant first text when a lead comes in, reaching back out to leads no one ever called again, following up on day 7, day 14, day 30 when humans move on. So covering nights and weekends is another big advantage. That's where AI shines. Now, here's where dealers need to be careful. If your CRM controls the AI and controls the follow-up rules and controls the data, you better make sure it's set up the way you want, because otherwise you're just letting someone else decide how your customers get handled. The dealers who win with this are the ones who say, this is our tone, this is when humans should jump in, this is how escalation works. AI shouldn't replace your team or the dealership's team. It should make their team sharper. And let's be honest, this won't replace your top salesperson either, but it absolutely replaces inconsistency. It replaces, I forgot to call them, or I'll hit them tomorrow, we'll follow up next week. The future isn't AI versus humans, it's consistent follow up versus inconsistent follow up. And consistency wins.
Yeah, that's huge. Very well said. I think that my quick take on this is that humans, like you said, humans aren't bad at selling. They're incredible at selling, but they're also incredible at taking the very top opportunity, the one that's most likely to actually convert, where AI just takes all of them and gives it their best. So let your salespeople actually work those ones who responded really quickly and haven't turned into unsold leads, or work past customers that need to come in that it's a very low probability, but AI doesn't care that it's a low probability,
Yeah.
and have them really focus on the showroom floor and let AI bring them to the showroom floor. And then that's the handoff from AI to human.
Yeah, I would agree. And then also, one thing with humans working hot leads, and it's a very big focus in our industry, is like speed to leads. So even those hotter leads, having some sort of AI automation being able to reach that lead quicker than a human would. Because let's face it, I mean, humans at the dealership, they have a lot of things going on. So you have a lead sitting there for more than, we used to say 5 minutes. I was like, all right, let's answer our these leads within 5 minutes. But I think it needs to be much quicker than that today, especially with AI. So at least having AI let that lead, that hot lead know that, hey, we see the lead, we see your request. What can we do to assist you? And then have the human kind of come in behind that and just kind of monitor that conversation and make sure it's advancing forward. So yeah, but to your point, I see this as being able to help all of your data or all of a dealership's data in a CRM versus, like you said, humans just focus on those earlier days. So I think this is going to be a big deal for our industry moving forward.
So many use cases for it, and I'm really excited just to see this trend evolve and see where it fits into the dealership.
Yeah, for sure. So to wrap that up, this isn't AI versus BDC. It's consistency versus inconsistency. It protects dealerships' processes from falling apart on busy days, short staff days, or lazy days. And that's where this is all headed. More consistency, less guesswork. All right. And speaking of removing guesswork, here's the next topic that excites us that we're going to focus on. AI call analytics can now flag lost deals automatically. No human call reviews needed. John, why is this such a big deal when dealerships have been monitoring calls for years?
Yeah, I think that last little piece is what people think that dealers do. And but the funny thing is, we've owned a marketing agency. You and I have owned an automotive marketing agency for over a decade now. And we know that I think I actually saw a stat one time that dealers review less than 1% of calls. And I think that if that stat was really accurate, it'd be like less than half a percent or less than a tenth of a percent of calls.
I would
You know,
agree.
marketing agency, we would send thousands of calls, and then dealers would complain that we're not getting any sales or sales didn't increase. And then we listen to the phone calls and we're like, these are terrible. Like, have you actually listened to any of these? Do you train your sales staff? Then we actually send them the recording links and they still don't listen to them. And we've actually done the analysis of how much it actually costs to analyze a call from a human's perspective. And if you take entry level affordable overseas labor at say $5 an hour, it's about, I forget the exact math, so we'll have to correct this later, but it's about 8 cents to 12 cents per minute listened. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're talking about thousands or tens of thousands of minutes, that ends up eating into margins substantially. So now with AI, you can actually you can actually have it listen to the calls. And the reason why I say listen is because AI actually can't listen. AI can't hear, it can't understand tones, it can't do that. I think that it's coming really, really soon. But at this moment in time, when we're recording this, it can't. But what it can do is it can transcribe text to, or it can transcribe voice to text. And then it takes that text and actually uses linguistic analysis and in using just the words and the timestamps associated, and it can detect things like frustration or long silences, interruptions, deviation from the actual sales script. It knows how to sell. It knows how to sell way better than actual sales people know how to sell. It can't utilize like human personality and body language, but if we had like a recording device on our shirt, I'm sure it would have a lot of feedback after every single interaction. What that actually allows dealerships in any company really to do is flag phone calls. So instead of listening to 100% of those phone calls, you can pull out the 10% of those phone calls that just actually were not that great and utilize constructive criticism. So I am 100% for the idea of having AI analyze all your phone calls. And I would actually take it a step further. Earlier we were talking about having AI actually respond to your leads. So not only should you be monitoring the human conversations, but you should be monitoring the AI conversation.
Yeah,
Because
for
I
sure.
think dealerships right now are fearful that their AI agent is going to hurt their brand reputation. It's not going to do it the way that they would want to do it. The only way to know if that's happening or not is to have another layer on top of your AI employee company that actually just analyzes things as like a third party that's unbiased, and not to criticize the human or the AI, but to improve both of them together.
Yeah, for sure. AI handling what I would say the quality control element of the dealership's conversations is 100% needed. It was a big focus of ours. That was probably like our moat for a little bit, where we really honed in on having a human listen to the calls and then follow up with the dealership and let the dealership know, hey, this is an opportunity. So yeah, I feel that this AI, having AI do that, because to your point, it's a lot of phone calls, it's a lot of minutes, but it is definitely needed to help save a deal or help save an opportunity. I am all in on having AI be your quality control manager for your conversation. So great points that you brought up.
So now transitioning a little bit from dealership operational technology and into the actual vehicle. So a company named Tensor, which to be honest, probably not a lot of people have looked into, but I dove into it. It's crazy impressive. They claim to have built the first or the world's first personal AI driven robocar. Now, what does this mean to me? I guess. Yeah, initially it's these won't just be taxis anymore. These will be Waymos in your driveway. So like people eventually will be buying these vehicles that right now we just see as autonomous Uber vehicles. So
Yeah.
Charles, why should a dealer care about a fully autonomous personal vehicle that isn't even mainstream yet?
Because this isn't about robots driving around tomorrow. It's about where ownership is going. The key word here isn't autonomous. It's personal. This isn't a fleet vehicle. It's not Uber. It's not a robo taxi. It's a personally owned car that runs on AI. And when that happens, everything shifts. This idea of agentic vehicle means the car isn't just driving, it's making decisions. It updates itself, it optimizes routes, it schedules service, it adapts to driver behavior. That changes the dealership conversation completely, in my opinion. Sales won't be about horsepower or torque anymore. It becomes, what software version are you on? What features unlock over time? What does this vehicle learn about you? That's a different buyer. Service changes too. Fewer oil leaks, more diagnostics, more updates, more calibration, more sensors. So your service lane starts looking more like tech support. And trade ins, now you're evaluating hardware and software lifecycle. Is the battery healthy? Is the AI outdated? Is the compute platform upgradable? Here's the strategic warning though. OEMs love this model because AI defined vehicles and gives them direct relationships with owners, software updates, subscriptions, feature unlocks. Dealers have to decide where they sit in that. The opportunity, in my opinion, you own the education layer, you own the trust layer. Be the place customers go to understand. What does this update mean? What's worth upgrading? What's covered under warranty? The store that becomes the translator between OEM tech and customer understanding wins. And Tensor isn't alone. The entire OEM ecosystem is shifting toward AI defined vehicles, which leads into this. NVIDIA is powering vehicles like data centers, cloud to car. John, what actually changes for dealerships when cars move from mechanical systems to software stacks?
Yeah, you just mentioned a lot of the implications, and like thinking about self-driving cars being in people's actual driveways is one thing, but then taking a step deeper and kind of double clicking into what that really means. That means that the vehicle has to have computing power and software and chips, and so like you mentioned earlier, it's not necessarily horsepower anymore. It's almost like selling Windows computers back in the 90s again, of like, oh, the RAM just increased to this, processing power increased to this, or now I know Apple focuses on we're at this chip, we're at this chip, we're at this chip. And same with cell phones. Like, I truthfully believe once we fully get into this, that vehicles will be sold more like how we've always seen computers and phones being sold. And to your, you mentioned earlier, like OEMs are getting into this. So you look at Tensor, never heard of them before. There's probably a startup that's driving this level of innovation. Those types of companies get acquired. But currently, even companies like Lucid and Mercedes and Xpeng in China are already adopting these types of things. And I do think that not only is it going to change what the dealerships are selling, but it'll also change how marketing and outreach is actually happening.
Yeah,
We're
for
already
sure.
seeing that these like EV style vehicles are having fewer service visits, less depreciation. So now it's on the dealership to actually just service the customer more, find those opportunities for monetization. And more than likely, the dealership's going to take, or that vehicle's going to take itself to service. If it's a self driving vehicle, it doesn't need you to ask it to come to service or take the time. So what does that really look like? And I think that last thing is, I'd be really interested to see where this goes in terms of who owns this data. So there's going to be so much data that's going to be collected now that companies like Nvidia, the companies that power OpenAI essentially, are actually powering vehicles now or making chips specifically for automotive. This means that everybody's going to open data. Why is ChatGPT doing what they're doing and losing billions of dollars every single year? It's because they own the data. That data is currency now, and that data is intelligence, and that is more important these days than money is, because then it eventually turns into money. So instead of a dealer having their own database system and DMS, the OEMs are going to be crazy, crazy intelligent, and we'll have to see where they fit in together. Overall, we hit 4 really great topics today. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm really, really excited to stay on top of the topics and try to do this on a weekly to monthly basis. If you think that we need to talk about certain things or something's come up and you want our take or opinion on this, please comment in the comment section below. And again, we'll hopefully be back next week.
Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. We want to definitely get the word out.
Excellent. We'll see y'all next week.